Alright, good evening and sorry for the delay. There was some technical issue which is still being rectified, but we are here with a breaking news, with an important piece of information. So, whatever was being speculated, in fact, you had heard this on Sports Today also, yesterday also, that Jasprit Bumrah will lead the Indian team in the absence of Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma has not recovered from COVID and will continue to remain in isolation, in quarantine, and in his absence, Jasprit Bumrah will lead the team, and Rishabh Pant has been named as his deputy. That means Pant will be the vice captain of this Indian team. So it's a big development. I don't know if we can say it as a big development because it was on the expected lines.
Yeah, I think we were expecting even yesterday when we were talking about, whether it would be Kohli or Bumrah, we said, yeah, it's already seeming likely that it would indeed be Bumrah. We've got that official confirmation today. So yes. Now it is well known that India is going to have a pace bowling captain now for the first time in 30 plus years.
Since
1987.
Yes. Now, since 1987. So hello everybody. In fact, I can see few more people are joining us. So I think we'll have to raise our volume a bit.
Just a tad, yes. That's the unfortunate reality of the technical issues that we're facing. Yes. We're going to have to be just a little louder, guys. We apologize. Do bear with us in this regard.
Yeah. So I think we can
come a little closer to the camera. Yeah.
So this is the big news. Jasprit Bumrah to lead the Indian team, and Rohit Sharma is officially out of the fifth or the rescheduled fifth Test match that India will play tomorrow against England. Remember, India are still leading the series 2-1, and if they go on to win this match, they will. It will be their fourth series win on English soil.
Correct.
Quite an achievement. In fact, the last time India won the series, the head coach of this team
was the captain.
Right. And before that, when in 1986, when India won a series in England, the chief selector, current chief selector,
yes,
was actually one of the architects of that victory. If I remember correctly, in the last Test match that incidentally was played at Edgbaston, Chetan Sharma, who's right now the chief selector and is there in Birmingham with the Indian team, he picked up a 10-wicket haul. Right. So the Indian team actually can take quite a number of inputs from both these people, be it Rahul Dravid or Chetan Sharma. But Shane, I don't think it's going to be very easy for the Indian team, considering it's a full strength, fully loaded England team which is high on confidence. Majority of their players are in form, except for the fact their opening combination looks a little dicey, which it has been over the years, for quite some years since
Alistair Cook is retired. Yes,
since Alistair Cook got retired. But now the big question is, what should be the best possible Indian team to beat this English team?
I think yesterday also we were doing a bit of speculation. So I think obviously now the picture is a lot clearer. Now that we know Rohit's not going to be there, so that automatically means that you're getting a replacement opener. And of course, when I say replacement opener, I don't necessarily mean a like for like. So I don't personally see a Mayank, for instance, factoring in. He may have come into the squad, but I think Cheteshwar Pujara will be that person who slots in alongside Shubman Gill.
He should, Cheteshwar Pujara should open with Shubman Gill because, I was just wondering, even if Rohit Sharma would have recovered from, COVID, would you still play him? Because what about the fitness test?
Yes.
What about whether he was match fit or not? You can't just wake up and play international cricket.
Exactly.
Especially when you haven't played too much of cricket in the last one and a half months. Because he did play in Leicester, that practice game, one inning that he played, and after that, before that, in fact, it was a decent break that he took, and he took a decent break, and that was okay. Let me hold this. Yeah. That he took a decent break once Mumbai Indians were out of
the IPL.
IPL. So Cheteshwar Pujara and then Mayank Agarwal on the basis of 2 practice sessions. Would you just draft him into the 11? So that's a question that still I think the team management has to answer. They have decided on their 11, which Rahul Dravid also indicated yesterday, that they have a clarity as far as what their playing 11 should be. The only thing that they were just maybe contemplating was whether in case Rohit Sharma is fit, can they play him? But that was, trust me, that was always out of question.
Yeah, because I mean, you got a COVID test in a few days ago, like 2-3 days back. Even if he somehow recovered, which again, by the way, seems very unlikely, you'd be asking questions about how match fit he was. Because again, he'd only played the warm-up match. He batted 1 innings there also, because he missed the second innings.
Second day, I think he tested.
Exactly. So again, you'd be asking a lot of questions, and of course, there's the fact that it takes you more than at least 2-3 days to even test negative from COVID, no matter how mild your symptoms are.
True.
So I think it was always a long shot at best. We saw reports, in the media saying that they are hopeful, but again, that seemed like a bit fanciful thinking, you could say, because again, in 2-3 days, who's testing negative just like that? And you can see that they gave him every chance, because again, he had multiple RT-PCR tests, but in the end, what was expected is that we won't actually be fit, and that's exactly what has transpired at this point.
Meet Soni is saying, why is Bumrah the captain when Rishabh Pant was the vice captain? Want to share some light on that?
Pant wasn't the vice captain.
There was no vice captain announced for this test match. Actually, KL Rahul would have been your designated vice captain under Rohit Sharma. Unfortunately, what happened was KL Rahul suffered that groin injury. Then he had sports hernia, for which he had to go to Germany. And as things stand, Rohit Sharma is also now out of this test match because of COVID. So there was no vice captain. And if you let me just remind you, the last series that India played, Jasprit Bumrah was the vice captain when India played against Sri Lanka. So it's an elevation, it's a promotion for him to be named as the captain. For those who've just joined us, this is the breaking news. That's it. Jasprit Bumrah to lead, Rohit Sharma is out. Jasprit Bumrah, Ben Stokes, and see, you have 2 more players here who will be part of this Indian 11 now. One, of course, Virat Kohli and Joe Root. Both of them were captains of their respective teams. Joe Root, of course, he also relinquished his captaincy just before the New Zealand series, and Virat, after the South Africa series, he also decided not to continue as Indian captain. Now, we'll just throw this conversation open for you people also. Swarit Sharma is saying, will Rohit be available for white ball series? I think from the second game he will be available, and majority of the players that you'll see in the test 11 tomorrow onwards, you'll see them play the second T20I, because see, I think tomorrow is what date? First, second, third, fourth, fifth. The match gets over.
Days, exactly. If the match goes 5 days or whole distance, then there's at most you're going to get a day's gap between that and the T20s starting. So it seems most likely that the first match, you might see a few of the younger players still play.
No, I think the same team that played against Ireland will play the first T20. Second T20 onwards, you'll have a full strength Indian team. Which will also include, hopefully, Rohit Sharma.
Yes,
as the captain.
Yeah, and remember, we were talking a lot about how the Indian first teamers haven't actually really played many games together in recent times, and of course, T20I World Cup here, you would be wanting them to play some games together sooner rather than later. So, of course, I think England series would be ideal for that.
Right. Sukhdeep is saying, when will the ODI and T20 teams be announced? Sukhdeep, we are expecting that the teams will be announced any time today.
Yeah, we were expecting it to become earlier today, in fact. But then before we got to know the teams, we got to know about England's playing 11 for tomorrow. So
Jayesh Patel is saying Virat will have a big role to play. Absolutely.
Yes.
Both as a part of that leadership group and as a batsman also. Remember, a lot of people were saying when Rohit tested positive for COVID that why not Virat should lead. But I think that was never a question because not a lot of people were happy with the fact that when Virat announced that he's not going to continue as test captain. So that was not even considered. That thought was not even considered if Virat could, lead India in this particular test match. And hello, Khandelwal is saying if India wins this test match, Bumrah will be made the permanent captain.
Yeah, I highly doubt that. I think there's still
No. That's not going to happen. But it's not going to be an easy challenge or an easy task for India to beat England there. Remember, we've announced. In fact, we told you about the England 11. They've already announced their 11. Alex Lees is there. Zach Crawley, their two openers. Then you have Oli Pope. He played pretty decent in the last series. Got 150. Then you have Joe Root, number one batsman as of now.
Yeah.
Then at 5 they have Bairstow. 6 is Ben Stokes or vice versa. Then at 7 they have Sam Billings, who's replaced Ben Foakes, who also remember had tested positive during the last test match that England played against New Zealand.
Like Billings had come in as his like-for-like replacement.
Yes. Then they have Matthew Potts, who took 14 wickets in the last series against New Zealand. Then,
Jimmy and Stewart, and of course Jack Leach.
So that is a very good English team, barring the opening combination.
Which has looked shaky for a while, as we said.
Absolutely. And what about the Indian 11? What could be the possible 11 for India?
So we were discussing, obviously, I think openers, Gill, Pujara kind of selects itself. Number 3, maybe Hanuma Vihari.
Right.
4, Kohli.
Right.
5 would be Shreyas Iyer.
Right.
6 would be Rishabh Pant. Now is when things get really interesting because we don't know what bowling combination they're going to go with. Are you going with 4 seamers? Are you going to be going with 3 seamers and 2 spinners? Because and bear in mind, there's a lot of people, including Moeen Ali, who told us that India should be going with 2 spinners because Edgbaston later on tends to spin a bit. And of course, right now I think the way conditions are, it's not optimum swing bowling or seam bowling conditions. So you might just...
It's a tricky call for India.
Yeah, absolutely.
One is an attacking because you may not get an opportunity to regret. In case the move misfires, you may not get an opportunity. Remember, this is just one test match. And if the move backfires, you will not. So just going through. So you may not get because you said. At 6 Rishabh Pant, right?
Yeah.
Now you have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 spots to fill. Of course, captain Jasprit Bumrah will be there. Shami would be
100% there.
Mohammad Shami would be there. Mohammad Siraj.
Yeah, I think he has to be starting.
Okay, is there a possibility? Is there a possibility that Shardul Thakur plays in place of Mohammad Siraj and both Ashwin and Jadeja make it to the 11?
I mean, it is possible, but I think if you're doing that, there's a lot of batting cover then. Because I mean, if you're going to trust both Jadeja and Ashwin, neither of them, like Jadeja's a proper batsman in that sense. He's an all-rounder. Then I think you could maybe go with Ashwin being the number 8. Why I'm saying that is because I think it would be very harsh on Siraj if he got dropped.
Exactly.
Very, very harsh.
He won you that Lord's Test.
Exactly.
4 wickets in each of the 2 innings.
8-wicket haul in that match.
Yes.
So, and that's the thing. I mean, if you're looking at his recent form, yes, I know Siraj didn't have a great IPL, but his red ball form has been phenomenal. You cannot possibly be thinking of dropping him at this point. He's been very, very good. Of course, if it does happen, it wouldn't be a shock, but I think it would be very unfair on him. It would be very, very unfair if they choose to drop Siraj. I think Shardul will be the one who misses out if they go 2 spinners. But of course, we don't know. They might just go with one spinner. Again, it's a tricky
No,
call.
absolutely. See, the convention, if I can call it a convention, for the Indian team, especially while they are playing overseas, is that they just go with one spinner. That usually is Ravindra
Jadeja.
Jadeja.
Yes.
But things have changed ever since Virat Kohli, Ravi Shastri, ever since the regime changed, basically.
That entire team management.
So you never know what's the thought process, because they played in South Africa. What was the combination there? You remember?
I do not actually remember. My God, that series feels like it was a long time ago.
So yeah.
Let me check actually. Can check that. Meanwhile, we can take a few questions.
Yes, I can take a few questions. Okay, Suman Gavli says, are you happy by looking Virat's scores and he's staying at the crease as I'm happy as every day? There cannot be said. Okay, so basically Suman is saying that are you happy with the fact that even though Virat with Virat's scores, but he's spending time at the crease? I think this is the question that even Rahul Dravid was asked, and Dravid says that centuries we tend to associate success with 3-figure mark, the centuries, which Virat used to score almost every day, virtually every day. But now those centuries aren't coming, but that doesn't mean that he is not contributing to the cause. It's the impact that makes a difference. But the fact is that Virat's average has also dropped in the last couple of years, and this is not the same Virat. The standards, the lofty standards that he had set for himself, these are not the same. Although there have been a few innings which have been very, very good. I still remember that the match, the Adelaide Test match, where although India were bowled out for 36 in the second innings, in the first innings Virat got around 73 or 74 runs. Then World Test Championship 49 or 50 he scored. Then Rahul Dravid himself mentioned about the 70 odd runs that he scored in the first test.
Cape Town it was, I think.
Yeah, in the Cape Town test. So, but what separated Virat with other batsmen was the consistency.
In fact, we remember we did that one dugout comparing the Fab Four, and we talked about Kohli. We saw that he had the least 50s of the lot. Yes. Why is that? Because he more often than not converts them. His conversion rate was very high. In fact, Root till recently was having that problem. He'd get a lot of 70s, 80s, 70s, 80s, but not convert them. That's why his half century count was also high. And by the way, I was checking South Africa series, they were only going with one spinner, Ashwin. So it was 4 seamers with an Ashwin. That's the traditional, conventional model which they were sticking with.
But I think here they might have to play Jadeja.
Yeah.
It could be a toss-up between Ashwin and Shardul. I think they may have to pick 2 out of 3. And who do these 3 players would be? Ashwin, Shardul and Siraj. Siraj would be highly unlikely and very, very unfortunate if he misses out.
Yeah.
If he misses out. And Ashwin, I don't know. I have a feeling that Ashwin should play, as everybody has been talking about, because these are not fresh wickets. Exactly. The conditions also. So you won't get the same kind of movement here on in English conditions these days. So Ashwin the Indian team might be tempted to play Ashwin there. Now Harshit is saying really disappointed to see key players not playing the important series or matches. That's why Virat, Smith, Root are by far
away from all the others. But even Virat's taken rest in recent times.
No, but Virat has taken rest from I don't know if we can't call any series or any match inconsequential.
But the smaller.
But you tell me, how many times have you seen Virat getting injured?
Yeah, that's true actually. His injury record in that sense is impeccable.
Rest is something, you won't see Virat taking rest from an Australia tour
or an England tour, or South Africa.
He did come back after that Adelaide loss, but that was for personal reasons. It was he had family reasons for that.
Yeah, his wife was expecting at that point.
So
otherwise
I agree to an extent. I agree, and the fitness standards that he has maintained. See, if you see Smith, Joe Root doesn't play, the
A lot of white ball. Yeah.
Yes. So that way, Virat is playing all three formats.
So it's imperative that he would actually have to take some rest for himself, especially considering India's calendar.
Akshay is saying Nikhil is in a tree house resort. Is he?
Is he? Even I didn't know that. News to me.
Anyways, come now. We'll take more questions. No, we've taken. Okay. Tushar, what is Tushar saying?
He's asking what is the best course to become a sports journalist?
I've given my 12th exams and I want to become a sports journalist. May you please tell which course is the best to become a sports journalist? I don't think the course actually matters. To be very honest.
Actually, if you can get through,
course is just a degree.
Yeah. If you can get through journalism school in your bachelor's, or otherwise any arts course, let's say, do a master's or a diploma in your PG if you haven't done anything journalism related. The rest is up to you how you break
Absolutely. Read, write, and just keep yourself aware of whatever is happening in the sports world.
Reading is very important.
Absolutely.
Very, very important if you want to come in, he met him. Akshay met Nikhil in the trios resort.
Oh,
very interesting.
Okay. Jaipur? Akshay, I think you are you come from Jaipur, I guess. Anyways, Pan should be the captain. Adam Siddharth.
No.
I can't say. Although in the last few months or years, he's been one of the most impactful Indian batsmen.
True. In Test cricket, you cannot even doubt or even think of doubting his spot, because that's how good he's been. And in Sena countries, that. So, yeah. I don't know about him being captain though. Not yet, at least. Let's see.
Mohit Umesh saying limited over squad. We are actually expecting the squad to be announced today
itself. Yeah.
Let me check and maybe I can get back to you. Alright, so that's the big news which was on the expected lines. Jasprit Bumrah will lead the Indian team. Rohit Sharma is out with COVID. He hasn't recovered, so we'll have to wait and see when he comes back. Hopefully for the first game, first T20I against Ireland, or the second game. So that's all.
Yeah.
That's all we have. We'll come back to you. Maybe
later on itself with team news.
Yeah, because see, Jasprit Bumrah, I think his press conference should have started by now. So whatever happens, if we have the playing 11, we'll share it with you. So do subscribe to Sports Today. And
yes, don't forget to like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Tap the bell so you know when it is we're going live or posting a new video.
See you.
Bye bye. Vanakkam.